yeah. Well, you know what? I got me some stuff, and I'm not going to talk about it. I know y'all probably wondering what I'm doing here today. Yeah, well, I got an offering. And it's a real special offering, and I come all the way down here because I wanted to give it in a real church house. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, I mean, we got a schoolhouse that we meet in the back home, but it's just ain't no real church house, and this is a real special offering. So I come here so I could give them my offering. Yeah, you know, in a schoolhouse, I just spent my 60 years, my whole 6 years of my education there in that schoolhouse, and at Sabbath, I just feel like I need to write down all my sins on my slate or something. So I just didn't want to do it here. I know if my mom was alive, she'd be real upset at me. She'd say, oh no, let me tell you, you can make any place holy.
Right.
And all of God's good ground is a holy. Yeah, and I'm telling you, she can make some stuff come out of that ground. She could nurse that corn till it was full as a fat baby. Yeah, she could. And she'd mother that brood of cucumbers and tomatoes like she was a vine herself. She sure did. She put up mess after mess of things and fruit jars and laid them by the shed. Yes, she did. Row after row, God prospered her. Yeah. And then on Sunday, she'd go down to the Sabbath, and you know what she'd do? Well, she'd bring her first fruits, the 10th of everything she got. And she'd leave. She said, I'm helping the Lord feed the needy. Yeah, it was just a way of life. It was just what we knew she was going to do. And let me tell you, there was always plenty for us. Oh, and I love me some of my mom's green beans, I'm telling you. Yeah, I ate more than anybody else, too. There wasn't none finer tasting than my mom's green beans. Yeah, yeah, well, I'm telling you what she wasn't gardening, she was a walking, birthing babies. She midwifed every baby on that mountainside. Yes, she did. I guess those are holy walks, too. The only baby she ever lost was a twin. Yeah, well, 2 if you count the other twin, because his mom never lived to birth it. Thing is, the only mother and baby that my mom ever lost was her own girl. It was my sister, Jamie, and she was a purty thing. Yeah. Her pain started early that morning, and earlier than they were supposed to, and she clawed her way up to the top of the mountain to get to Ma, because her hubby, he wasn't home to come and fetch Ma. But it was too late. Yeah. I didn't understand it, because Jamie was a purty thing, and her man was good to her. He was always buying her purty things like hats, yeah, and dresses and shoes, and he never got over it when she died. I like to never either. Matter of fact, it got me all riled up at God himself. I stomped my feet and hollered at him. Well, I hollered at Ma, but I know he was listening. What kind of God you got anyway? You telling me he couldn't do nothing about that? Yeah, here you been traipsing all over the country helping everybody else, and where was he? All that stuff you've been talking to me about God didn't hold true, did it, when it come right down to it? What kind of God lets that happen? And you've been giving him the first fruits? Well, I guess that wasn't enough for him, was it? He had to take your first grandbaby. I was so mad. Well, my mama made me go to church anyway after that. But I never could sing Power in the Blood again. I just didn't believe it. I was a mess, a rebellious mess. Yes, I was. And then Charlie came along, and I liked him. He was so sweet to me, so I just got up and went off with him. It shamed my mom, but I didn't care what she said no more anyway. Because her and God, they was this close. And I didn't trust in no merciful God. He gave me this ring right here. I don't know if it's no real diamond or nothing, but I'm telling you, I learned all about giving a love offering from my mom. Yeah, I did. And Charlie, he was God enough for me. Yes, he was. And I give him the first fruits. Yep. The first of my morning and the first of my evening. And the first of my energy went to doing for him. Yep. The first batch of sweets I ever made was his. And the first and biggest helping of supper I gave to him. Yep. And when he decided he was going to go off to Nashville that spring and get a better life for us, I was the first to wish him well. And the last knowed he wasn't ever coming back. Yeah, I guess all that doing for him, it wasn't enough for him. Well, I acted like it didn't bother me none. Yeah, didn't say when folks would say something like, it's no big deal. But in my house, I'd put on my hat and I'd dance around, pretending like I had a beau that loved me more than anything else, and he was coming for me. Yeah, but I made it through the summer, and that winter, I didn't have a choice. The only thing I could do was go back to live with Ma. Now, I hadn't been to see her that whole time because I was dreading it too, just because I kind of what I did, and I didn't know what she was going to say, but I didn't have no choice, and I dreaded it. Now, you know, mountain folk, they don't turn no bodies away, but they sure do. Like, it bothers them when you hurt a body that they love. So I don't know what I was expecting when I got to Ma's, but what I got was anything but what I was expecting. Yeah. When I come up over that hill, I see my mama, and I heard her holler out, "Woo-wee!" And she started slapping her thigh like she done. She was just a-grinning, and then she was just a-hugging me just as tight as she screwed on that lid to her mason jars. You know, the craziest thing about it was I was just surprised. Like, what? How? She wasn't mad or anything. Wait, well? So I just went on in, but I kept watching her. Like, I kept watching her to fall on me like you do on a hen at Sunday dinner. Nothing. Not one time. She never brought it up. She never laid down any rules. She never asked me about what happened. I never once saw the wounds I knew that I'd given her. She just loved. She just loved me. Yeah, and I'm telling you, when she put that thing of green beans in front of me, I'd never been so happy to eat those green beans, and she was watching me again, and she just, woo! She knew I was loving those green beans, and I was. How could she be so happy? I mean, she had done lost a lot more than I had, but it just didn't seem to bother her. I mean, and don't get me wrong, when I watched her, I thought, I admired her. I really did. And could I be like her? I mean, not once did she blame God. Not once did, not twice did. No, she didn't get mad. She just loved me. And I thought, you know what? If she could love me like that, after I just did her wrong,
Come on.
well, couldn't I just love God even though I was sour with him too? Yeah, I know.
Yes, Lord.
I just got to thinking about it. She just had that love that even if it loses something, it don't quit giving something. Well, it took a long time, that birthing process in me, a lot longer than it's supposed to, but real soon, God began to work on my spirit, and he put a different spirit in me, not a bitter, unforgiving spirit, but it became a spirit of love. And guess what happened? I became healthy. I did. And guess what I did? Just like Paul said in the Bible. I started giving my first fruits. The 10th of anything that I did went to him first. Yeah. You know, I learned how to do herb medicine, and I followed my mom around even once or twice while she was midwifing, until God took her home, and I was real proud of myself. I was doing really good. And then one day, I was up on the mountain by the water trough, and I was just a-thinking and just a-pondering, and I was thinking, I could hear it, just as if it was a voice, clear as day. Well, Sara Mae, aren't you just so proud of yourself? You've been giving your first fruits all these years, and you thinking you're something, don't you? Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, I have. I've been giving the 10th of everything. Well, good for you, and lawdy-daw. I know you thinking that when this creek unthaws after the winter, you gonna give the first of a bucketful to your neighbor that's sick over here. Yeah. You think you got that given just because you're a tither? You got it all wrapped up just as neat as a flour sack. But what if there was a drought and that water was drying up in that creek? Would you give your last bucket full? That got me thinking. See, it's easy to give the first of what you got. That's your tithes. But the real offering, the real holy ground offering, that's giving the last of what you got. I got thinking, okay, God, I know I've been holding on to it for a while, but this hat here, it was the last thing I got that belonged to my sister Jeannie. God bless her soul. And I've been holding on to it. This ring, it's the last thing I got from Charlie, wherever he is. And this right here, it's real special to me. It's the last jar greeting I got from my mom. I was saving it for this Christmas to serve it at Sunday dinner. But see, I want to give a real holy offering, not just my tithes. So I came down here to y'all's church house. And I'm going to leave it here at the altar. I can't wait around to see what you youngins going to do, but here it is, God. And I know it's been a long time coming, but I know if I put it in your hands, it's going to go a lot farther than it's going to go in my shelf. So there you are, and I want to stay around and see what you and got to bring to Jesus today. But I got a long walk back to Atlanta. But you know what? I'm a feeling good. I just brought a special